And we're back again, this time with Vici Gaming taking on RNG, and Vici, unfortunately, for the start of the LPL, have not started off too strong.
Yeah, I mean, they're 0-8, they haven't picked up a single win yet, but they are against RNG, who, despite the fact that they were the best possible candidates for the LPL for Worlds last year, are only 4-4, and no surprise here, Azir, the famous one of EasyHoon, is banned away from it.
Of course, you got to take it away from Vici Gaming, Caitlyn, as well as the side, Talia, actually taken off the board, and Skana, which has been rising in success, and especially in 8.2, when you're that patch behind, I mean, Vici Gaming, they got to keep up with the times.
I mean, it's a huge one. If nothing else, it's just that Malzahar effect where you suppress somebody down and they just don't get to play the game. But this is obviously a very strange first pick. Of course, the Azir is banned away, but there are other champions available. You got the Zoe up, you could pick that one for yourself, but instead they go for this. And if RNG don't pick either one of the two lovers in the bottom lane, that could be handing over a really strong duo to Vici.
I mean, when you pick up the Galio there, Preacher, you know, you pretty much say that EasyHoon is going in on this champion, and you can see that now maybe, do you pick up that AD carry, do you look at the jungler, because Tahm Kench, another supplementary pick. Looked like going for the Xayah Rakan was the right move, and maybe for the Camille, which could also be a flex.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Camille in the jungle yesterday. That series was a little bit hit and miss, but that is sort of the nature of Camille. It's very strange. They leave up a whole lot of options available. There is, of course, a Xayah Rakan that can be picked up by Vici, but more importantly than that, Sejuani is also open, and that is a massive pick that nobody can really look over in this part of the pick ban.
Something like that in the past as well. I mean, MLXG tending more to the Java and more to,
wow,
I guess, the Sejuani as well. Yeah, that's a Jax that's just been locked in for Vici Gaming. You'd have to think that's going topside again, another flex for the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, we see Jax is predominantly in the jungle at the current moment, Hysterics. I think that this is more or less going to Swift unless anything else indicates otherwise. That's really strange because Jax, just like Camille, is Feast or Famine, but unlike Camille, he takes ages to ramp up. And if you want to take a look at how exactly he impacts these lanes, he has to jump in, he has to use his Counter-Strike, and there's just no way that he can necessarily block damage away.
RNG do lock away that virus, and Uzi has been one to really improve and continue throughout. I mean, you say with Uzi, he's one of the veterans of the scene, but still feels like he's getting better and better, and RNG, a world's representing team, actually the best representing team from China, looking to make a stance here, 4-4 at the start, and against Vici Gaming, you know, there are expectations that are being placed on them here. And getting rid of some of the comfort of Vici Gaming in the Bard, in the Alistar as well, and maybe that's a good start.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they just don't want these hard engages in the bottom lane, but a real big question is, why exactly don't you want him? You got a Varus and you got a Tahm Kench. Sure, the Varus is very out in the open, however, Tahm Kench can always save him. And this is setting up already for RNG to be a very good, objective-focused team. I mean, with the Varus ulti, in conjunction with the Camille Hextech the ultimatum, I should say, you can pretty much lock down any dragon and any Baron and any Rip Herald that you want to.
And that shows that that is going to be a Camille jungle again, Preacher, because the Scion has just been locked in for Let Me, and that's definitely not one we'll see in the jungle. And immediately, I mean, if that Kha'Zix's locked in, we know where the Jax is going, but this should be a realistic pick of maybe Ornn on the top side, or maybe something a little bit more, I don't know, tankier, like the Maokai that we've seen coming back, but it is still 8.2, and it looks like the comfort on Ornn will still exist.
You said it, Ornn hasn't been nerfed yet. He can still go through CC with his W, so picked up in the top lane, going up against his Scion actually has a very good matchup, because the way that Scion usually wins the top lane is he uses his Comet on both his E and his Q. Now that isn't available to him, and this might be a very good round out for Vici, because this Shen can be in the bottom lane. Although, I'll give my criticism for this when we get into game.
Well, it is a very heavy composition. I expect that's what you mean there, Preacher. RNG, you know, as their final pick, they are definitely looking at a mid laner. And with Xiaohu, there's a couple of options on the board, but there is one that stands out to me. And when you're going up against a Galio mid, okay, I was not going to say the Cassiopeia.
No, you were going to say something that had AD, right? So you were going to say something like a Lucian. Well, especially given that it's Xiaohu. Xiaohu's Lucian is amazing, but no, they go for the Cassiopeia because this is a setup for objectives. Like I was talking about before, you got the Varus, you got the Tahm Kench, and you got the Camille. It already set up for all of these objectives. Now you have the harder gauge of the Scion for a little bit of versatility, but also the Cassiopeia so you can set up these objectives even more. You know exactly where RNG is going in this game and exactly where their eyes are set.
I mean, everyone knows where RNG want to go. And it is only the start of the year, the start of the split, but for RNG here, they'll be looking to set the tone, and especially with Let Me Scion up in the top lane. One that we didn't really talk about too much, the interaction between Ornn and Scion is not one we often see, and I don't think we really saw it because we moved into 8.3 across the other regions, and we didn't get to see all too much of that 8.2 Scion, but see if it makes all the difference when Ornn still has a bit of strength in his laning phase.
Gonna make a bold prediction here, Hysterics. It's gonna be a wet noodle fight, and we should never look top lane unless more than 2 people are there at any given time. But now that Ornn has been solidified in the top lane, I have to give my really sincere opinion on the bottom lane of Kalista and Shen. Because Kalista needs Shen to be with her at all times, or else she effectively only has 2 abilities, her Q and her E. She has a very rough laning phase, she has a very rough solo experience with anybody. But Shen with his ultimate actually wants to go around the entire map, save people's lives, make plays around the map. If he's not with Kalista, all of a sudden her value drops down very deep.
I mean, you don't think about that, do you? Because with Kalista you think, alright, the support's always going to be in the same lane, and some of that roaming capability gets taken away when Caveman decides, okay, I'm going to play the Shen. But then again, Preacher, you have 4 tanks essentially on the side of VG Gaming. And there's always going to be someone with Kalista, so maybe watch for those spears to change hands as we do jump into game 1. Vici, without a win on the board, are now looking to test that against one of the top tier teams in the LPL. RNG, looking for more points to score. And against arguably maybe an easy opponent, this is looking like an expected win, but it is a best of 3. We'll find out.
Let's see if RNG can solidify it. Right now though, I have to give a very tough criticism of the Jax jungle as well, because not a lot of junglers have itemized extremely efficiently on him. I mean, you can go for something like a Warriors, you could go for something like a Blood Razor. We don't really see a lot of tank Jax, and I think that actually works against his favor, because when he jumps in and he uses his Counter-Strike, he doesn't really have anything else going for him. This is dangerous.
We've actually found a bit of a pick on VG Gaming. Counter-Strike, he was saying, has to be started off first. There's arguably going to be a slower leash, and I think actually having to run away. Swift, not able to start his camps off early. RNG asserting their dominance in this red side jungle. Swift is going to go for the steal here, Preacher. Caveman walking in, so is Martin. MLXG still here as well. And VG Gaming, a bit of a rough start, but if Swift can get his red and MLXG wastes his time, then it'll be okay.
I mean, it's not over yet, Asterix. MLXG is still waiting here. There's no ward in this brush. So, Swift has no idea that this Camille is staying, and she's here.
And the hook shot lands it onto Swift, gets the shield, but it doesn't really matter. The electrocute will come through, and now he goes back in. Swift takes 2 free autos. He now has to pop the potion. He has to rotate around the jungle. Xiaohu is able to come to red with level 2. And this is a great start for RNG's jungler. A very good start indeed.
I mean, that was just painful to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. MLXG, he bode his time well. As soon as the side of VG Gaming went into the pixel brush in the river, RNG knew that they had control over this entire jungle. They move in, and even if MLXG did nothing but just leash the red away from the camp, they would have already won the engage, simply because they wasted so much time from Swift. But he manages to take the red as well, and look at Swift, he's having one of the worst starts that a Jax can possibly imagine.
I mean, MLXG as well expects to maybe go and invade once again, but already putting the Jax behind enough as it is. Swift will find himself equal in camps, and remember that all gold has pretty much been equalized in those camps, so now CS for junglers matters, and you can see the distinguishing factor, but starting with the big camps for MLXG, he'll find himself at level 3, and that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Preacher, 81%. you'd be expecting the crowd to definitely be supporting the longest standing organisation in RNG.
Yep, it's the name more than anything else, Hysterics. When you take a look at RNG, you always have to say, these are the guys who always show up, and they're your representatives who you would want to have on your side when you go internationally. Checking out this bottom lane, I really do fear for what exactly is going to happen with the level 6s. I mean, one of the great things that you could potentially do is have Shen actually move away from the Callista in the last minute, use his Stand United on the Callista, so he gets in and he gets thrown in as well. But other than that, it is just a very mismatched ball lane.
Well, let's not forget, right? So with Callista in 8.3, 8.4, I believe we've taken away the attack speed. So there's no longer a buff from your support or whoever you're tethered with for Callista anymore. But still in 8.2, I mean, those changes don't apply, being a couple of patches behind. But
correct. I mean, on 8.4, it almost feels as if Callista's stronger without her support than with them in some circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 8.2, not a great situation for her. We'll have to see how it goes though. I mean, if nothing else, they do have a free level 6, and as you can already see, Caveman, he's doing a good job of it. He's training very well.
Well, Ming does take half, but being a Time Kench should not be any issues whatsoever. And something we didn't touch on was Vici Gaming's composition, and we did mention it, that it is pretty much a tank composition with Martin at the at the back doing all the damage, and Swift basing on what he's going to do. You'd have to think that if there ever was a time for damage Jack's jungle, it would probably be now.
Of course, it's in this instance. I mean, you got an Ornn, you got a Shen who can protect you. You've even got a Galio. I mean, the double ultimate is so strong. The reduction from the Galio ultimate and also the flat shield that you get from the Shen ultimate as well. It gives you so much survivability. 3 people on the side of Vici Gaming can move around the map, and more importantly, nobody can. But here's a Camille.
Okay, so MLXG getting in position now. Caveman not too far forward, but the sweep will not do anything. And RNG trying to exert some pressure. They are 800 gold up. That'll just come from the denying through across lanes. And of course, when you have 2 lanes that are 20 CS up and 10 CS up in the top lane, that's what happens. Swift now, looking for the flash, gets the double stun. MLXG still in as well, but first blood goes over to Vici Gaming. A return kill over to MLXG, and now a double Scion knockup, having used the stopwatch. RNG are just collapsing here. The damage will find suit, and 3 members for the price of 1. MLXG take the discount.
Already, they go in for the aggressive play. Swift recognizes that he can take down RNG. However, after all that's said and done, Let Me gets to stay in lane and top lane, whereas Meow went back to base. So that he managed to get level 6. You can already see, he's staying in lane, Meow's back in base, he has level 6, he teleports in, and despite the fact that Ming falls, it doesn't even matter, because the side of Vici Gaming, they just get completely caught in this instance. The Scion ulti pops immediately out of teleport, and there's nothing that Vici can do.
Really is the best skin. If there's ever been a skin that's hit the nail on the head, it is Choo Choo Train Scion. Like, Mecha Scion brings the warmth and comfort that a Scion player should always have, knowing that they will turn into a train.
You say warm and comfort, but it almost feels as if it's cold, you know, almost robotic of sorts. But he has got one of those incinerators in his heart.
Because you're not in first class. If you're in first class, different story. But you're in economy, that train is bumped.
I've never taken first class, have you?
No, I haven't. Well, in an aeroplane or a train?
Well, either.
Okay, alright. Well, look, for a train, I don't think it's necessary. Trains are usually more comfortable.
Yep.
And, I mean, comfort is a big thing when you consider, like, the journey you're going on. If it's more than 8 hours, I say, man, get an upgrade. Go to premium economy. Try, what is it? One before first class.
If only for the 5 extra centimeters width that you get, it's absolutely worth it. You get arms to yourself. But speaking about the journey, it was barely any journey for Let Me. He did it pretty much instantly. So, on short trips like that, economy will do.
Economy will do. But going towards the locket for the starting item, Let Me looking to facilitate the rest of RNG. And now 1.3k gold lead, 8 minutes into the game. Gaming, bit off a little bit more than they can shoot, looking for an engage again, and Ming really taking the brunt of the damage down in the bottom lane. continuing, and still Ming holding out with Uzi. And a very different composition. I mean, you see the engage, you see that you've got a bruiser in the jungler, you've got, you know, 2 front lines, and there's a lot of different damage output for RNG in the comparison to Vici, who you're like, okay, in these fights, who's going to be doing all the damage? And you're like, it's Martin.
Yeah, it's very versatile for the side of RNG. I mean, the only downside that they have to their team composition is the fact that Ming is taking this damage. Normally you would say, it's fine, it's a Tom Kench. It doesn't really matter if he gets poked down or not, because he has his grey health, he can pop it if he absolutely needs to. But they are definitively losing this bot lane trade, and the fact that they are means that Ming can't even use his Abyssal Voyage to join anywhere else on the map. He's already got his level 6, but there are no objectives that really they can collapse on.
Still waiting for that roam from Easy Hoon, as ultimate is available. Only level 1. Bottom lane, meow. Okay. Alright. What did he make? Oh, he
Negatron
came back
cloak?
with a Negatron cloak, that's right. So getting closer towards the first item, and Locket versus... How bad's my memory at the moment?
It's a helm.
Thank you. Thank you so
It's
much.
an Abyssal.
Thank you so much.
No, it's an Abyssal mask, sorry. It's
Abyssal helm.
Yeah.
New
No,
item.
That was my bad.
New item confirmed.
Yeah, I messed up. On
Abyssal
that.
mask. Alright,
Yeah.
so...
It gives you so much damage on your W.
Does.
Amplifies the 10%. But here's the engage now with Swift.
Swift is actually coming in. Good ultimate from Uzi. The counter strike. He jumps in anyway. No flash available for Swift just yet. Mingen takes a lot of spears. Here comes Call the Forge God. The Ram will just send him home. The second kill for Vici Gaming.
It was only the first one that was needed, Hysterics. The call was down. They knew that Let Me didn't have teleport because he made the play much earlier. And then they get the advantage, but I don't think they can get much more off of this. I don't even think they can collapse onto the dragon, but still, a kill is better than nothing.
You gotta remember as well, Easy Hoon actually walked down for that as well. Meow, roamed down, used the teleport. Does get the kill, so it will be worth it in the end. And actually the banner of command, starting from Let Me. That's a cool sign with AP.
Yep. I'd be lying if I said that I knew exactly what his motifs were in this given instance. I mean, one thing that really sticks out to me is the fact that his teleport is coming up extremely shortly. So if you wanted to use his banner of command on a minion and then instantly teleport away, then of course that can give a huge advantage to a side lane that Swift pushes. We did talk about on this patch how minions do much more damage to turrets and turrets have much more HP. So if you want to play the strict numbers game, then it seems almost as if the banner of command is the best option you have.
I like you justifying it as well. Like there's very small amount of argument you can put forward towards banner of command.
I'm stretching it.
But it's always the same with when a new champion comes into rotation. Actually, Vici Gaming are now going to be in a bit of trouble. Martin goes the other way. He's going to flash as well. I don't know why. And Uzi will pick up a kill. Strange from Martin.
Yeah, very strange. I mean, he went towards the red side turret, but he's on blue side, buddy. And more importantly, he picks up the Shen, who, while he was in a little bit of strife, could have potentially got out with his flash. Now, Caveman cannot defend this. It's effectively a first turret.
So, going to go down to RNG, and it's already a 3k gold lead if that missed and slipped you by. And Ming now hanging around the backside. Caveman can't do anything about this, and Uzi will get solo gold for the first turret. RNG looks like this rotational game from Vici Gaming has failed, worked in their favor, and now goes up to 4,000 gold by 12 minutes.
And that's just a feels bad man moment. You got a Shen ultimate, you got a Galio ultimate, but somehow you were down on all of these rotations. The Abyssal Voyage coming in from me, managing to catch the bot lane out for Vici Gaming, secure a first turret for themselves, and Vici, if they want to get back in this game, it's going to be a tough road because not only is their ADC down, now they also got to watch out for the top side that is slowly pulling away.
Someone we haven't really looked at much is Xiaohu, who is almost on his way to the Abyssal Mask, you'd have to think. Or maybe going for the Rod of Ages this game. I mean, scaling would make sense, but also that Abyssal Mask, I mean, going to work against...
I reckon it's going to be an Abyssal Mask. I mean, you're into a lot of AP. You know, you got Meow bearing down on you.
Yep.
Swift every third auto attack as well as his empowered W is magic damage. Not to mention your lane opponent. Yep. it seems almost extremely reasonable that he goes for that Abyssal Mask.
But still, Rod of Ages was just picked up. So I guess we're wrong. Rod of Ages it is for Xiaohu. I mean, both items make sense here. There's no argument to go against. Mountain Drake as well.
We'll give it a late game.
This is important though, Preacher, because Mountain Drake started us off. And a team like RNG that can force and then siege, Mountain Drake's going to help out quite a lot.
It's not necessarily that Mountain Drake in specific is what they're looking towards. They're looking to pick up every dragon that ever spawns on this map. They have the Chains of Corruption coming out from Uzi that denies away pretty much any sort of contest that they have. And with the bot lane turret down, they rotate to mid. I'm not too sure that EasyHoon can defend it. And nobody is really roaming. However, Caveman does have ultimate if they decide to dive.
RNG rotate up into that top side, waiting around the mid brush as well. And for RNG, in the past, you know, it's been eyes on MLXG, now 2-0-2 as the Warrior Enchant. And something you'll notice on Swift, which has disappeared in the last couple of days, Tracker's Knife, and lest we forget, so I dare say, 0-1-1 on this Jax, and warding trigger to boot. That's what you want.
Yes. All you need.
We're getting emotional.
Well, of
thinking
course.
about it.
Yeah, it's a sad moment, however, in top lane.
Yeah, actually big ultimates both used and both knock up. And MLXG, although he survived, still looking to go back in. Meow flashes forward and just claps him. MLXG goes down, now going to be traded as Uzi finishes this one off. A 1-for-1. EasyHoon in the backside there did get out, but look at RNG Gaming. They've found the bottom turret and they're continuing forward.
Now it's just a game of chicken hysterics. What exactly does RNG do? Do they go for the second turret? Looks like it, although EasyHoon is the only one defending.
It's a banner of command minions doing all the work mid. Survives about 10 turret shots and mid will be traded off. Looks like top turret as well. Although RNG look like they're behind on this one. They will not find the tier 2 in the top lane, but they do manage to trade off.
Well, there's still a turret on this, Eric, so if nothing else, they are massively ahead in that aspect. They had the Mountain Drake, which just made all of that easy, especially the banner like you were talking about, pushing down mid lane, barreling it down. And they even got the kill advantage for themselves. Now watch them pick this up. There is no Chains of Corruption for Uzi, so there is a little bit of contest available, but VG don't even know this is going on.
Nah, they're nowhere nearby. Swift is all the way on the bottom side of the map and actually backed off just to come topside. So RNG's bottom lane will take out the Rift Herald, and with the Dragon on top of that, you can say that the objective game is still definitely being controlled by RNG.
I mean, who could have predicted that from Shamsa?
No. Well, especially with 4 tanks in a composition, and Preacher it is actually sent a Hulk on the Jax. So you'd have to expect that there's a Trinity Force coming, or maybe you go for, later on you go for something like a Titanic.
Well, you need a Trinity Force. It's one of the core essentials for Jax, but it is extremely odd that he goes for a Cinderhawk Rush. Usually what you see is you go for the Tracker's Knife without anything at all, and then you go for the Trinity Force, but
the old Hecarim build, eh?
Yeah, old Hecarim by itself, but instead he goes for that. I think it's a little bit ineffective in a way, because it gives him stats that he doesn't necessarily need. It gives him stats that he doesn't really compound off of, and if he ever jumps in to any sort of situation, he's pretty much just a Counter-Strike one. He uses Counter-Strike to stun people up. That's it.
You know what, this is what I've seen many times before is Jaxes who go tank and then they go Hextech Gunblade, and they go this weird mixture of tank and, you know, like...
work.
Well, yeah, I mean, agree to disagree. It might work with a different composition, right? So for RNG Gaming, they've already got 4 tanks. Unless you know, with EasyHoon, looks like he's building AP. Who knows? You know, anything's possible.
Well, the Galio does build AP. It favors him ever since 8.1 changed. His scaling is just so much better. You can pretty much one-shot people. It's the same as old Galio, if you remember that one. You get yourself a Death Cap, you get yourself a fully stacked Magi Soul Stealer. Yeah, you just use Winds of War and people are like, oh, I didn't dodge his skill shots, so I guess I don't get to play the game.
Looks like that will be the case, and still, big tank composition, RNG Gaming. They want to look to fight soon, but being 4k goal behind, maybe that's a bigger question than that. Infernal in 145, Baron will come up with it. And RNG positioning aggressively down on this bottom side. Will be spotted out now, and you can see that Vici is just waiting for the mistake, and another red buff looking to be stolen away. Yep, and will.
onto Uzi as well.
So, Swift didn't actually smite that one. Interesting enough.
Yep. Here's the really dangerous thing about it. You saw that Swift use his Counter-Strike because he wanted to potentially catch out Xiaohu, but that was not a situation for picking me, because RNG was actually waiting to pick you.
That was the longest hook shot I've ever seen.
Once you use it, you can walk backwards. It's exactly the same lane.
That was surely the longest.
It was very long. I'll give you that one. I mean, you know, she's really stretched herself with that one. Yeah, got a little bit of an upgrade.
Okay. Alright. Got any more?
No.
Okay, alright, well, I'll leave it at that. Vici, however, still 4k gold behind, and next time you're going to see a bit of action on the board will surely be in this Baron timer. Infernal as well, well warded. Well, we've got a control ward down there from RNG. And you're coming up to the 20-minute mark where Uzi actually has 3 items now. Just picking up that wit's end.
This is the power spike Baron. I mean,
yeah.
You pretty much do as much damage as you possibly can. The Runeans, the Ginzus, and also the Wit's End. Wit's End, of course, one of the more gold-effective items on this patch, now picked up for Uzi. It's going to be shredding through absolutely everybody. But we need to take stock of what exactly is available for the impending fight that could potentially happen. You got Let Me, who's got his teleport. You got Ming, who's got his Abyssal Voyage, can bring somebody else along with him. All ultimates are up. RNG Gaming, they do have the same situation, although one big notable factor is the fact that Swift does not have Flash. So if he gets in, this Jax could be very vulnerable.
RNG now moving towards the Infernal Drake. And Baron now up as well. Does RNG Gaming pull the trigger on the other objective? However, the top side of the map, Rift Herald was just put down. I believe it was actually dropped, so it was dropped by Ming.
It's my personal favorite use.
And there's the minion. Look at that! Swippity swappeting away.
Woo!
This minion is on a roll. Actually cleaning house. And now he's starting to attack Easy Hood. The 1v1. Rift Herald says, like, I actually don't
Can't
care.
do magic damage to it. Easy Hood, what are you doing, man? You gotta punch it.
He's literally dealing with the fastest swiping minion I've ever seen. And actually tries to steal that blue buff. But we'll go back over to Swift, and now they posture around the Baron. I wonder if that minion's still alive up in the top lane.
Surely Easy Hood would have taken it down, but that was actually my personal favorite use of Rift Herald of all time. I like to use it just as either a Baron or a Dragon is coming up. You drop it on the other side of the map, and it sort of forces your opponent to make a decision. Do I clean it out? Do I give up my Dragon, or do I give up a turret? End of the day, they gave up both. So it looks like RNG come out ahead in both of these 2 instances, and already, as soon as they pick up both of those objectives, they start moving their ward line over to the Baron. More importantly than that, we took stock of what was available for RNG. At the current moment, it's identical hysterics. They didn't burn a single thing to take down that Dragon or to take down that turret. And now, they could just use all of their tools on this Baron.
Well, they are still positioning around it, and it's going to be a very early Baron, but you can see that the game feels like it's progressed, as all these turrets have been taken down 4-2. And RNG, they definitely wanted to speed things up and move into that snowballing Camille alongside Uzi. Meow, teleport available, Let Me has this as well. And this is where we wait, because RNG want to bait Vici over to the Baron. All warded up now. And one big fight, as there is the Banner of Command minion again.
Oh no.
This time it's on a siege, it's on a cannon.
It's such a smart usage hysterics, because you know that you want to fight around the Baron. You know that you want to be able to push a side lane, so you banner the bottom wave. You can guarantee that that's going to push for you. Swift, not going to get caught. But here's the best thing about it. Now Let Me doesn't even need to be on the bottom side of the map. He can be in the mid side as easier to
Being called out, X-Tech, no, not even going to say ultimatum. Uzi takes him down, and with Vici Gaming's mid laner getting caught out, that could just be the Baron.
Of course. It's going to be a Baron, but they don't even need to do it. They could realistically do a Baron dance, bait him into potentially a 4v5 fight. They could definitely go in the way of RNG. And worst case scenario, if they don't even do it at all, there's still a huge push to the bottom lane from Banner.
Let Me waiting around the sides, looking for the knockup. Vici Gaming 4 versus 5, and Swift is going to maybe go around the back of the pit, call the Forge God here as well, doesn't knock it forward. Uzi stunned up and unfortunately not unstoppable anymore. Uzi will take another, looking for the third. And RNG Gaming back out with 3 out of 4 their members live. Meow going down, RNG, they start the Baron again.
RNG, they've been to the prom, they know how to do the Baron dance, every single step of it. Meanwhile, bot lane is pushing frantically. This is a double split decision.
They've come off the Baron, it's getting down to 1500, they have to finish it. Goes in swift, but the smite goes through, and RNG Gaming are now in a difficult position. Stopwatch use Easy Hoon, the flash forward from Uzi. Uzi is cleaning this fight up. Martin trying to contest. Ming on the backside slows him down. The flash forward. Ming should die here as a trade from Martin, and he will get the Ren, now kiting back. Uzi trying to follow as well. 2 members of RNG have gone down. It's a 2-for-2 trade, but that's not good enough for RNG. Martin on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift here. And it looks like RNG Gaming might get away with this one. Let Me's here. Uzi as well, looking for the piercing arrow.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he finds it. Martin goes down. Let Me takes the kill. And although it's a 3-for-2, RNG Gaming do take Baron off some members.
And this is just so obnoxious if you're playing as RNG Gaming right now, because you take a look at RNG. Uzi is power spiked. He's got his 3 items, like I mentioned, now 4 with the Mercurial. And watch this, nobody on the side of RNG Gaming can get onto the backside. Of course, the Baron is secured away, but all of the peel that is available for Uzi combined between Let Me, combined between the E of Ming, and also the threat of the ultimate from Cassiopeia, there's just no way that RNG could have won that fight.
I thought at one point that Swift was taken out by MLXG and it was just like one-shot wonder, with both of them killing each other, but no. Another kill bites the dust and goes over to Zhao, who this time is first. And the 3-item Cassiopeia with an 8k gold lead on the side of RNG. Gotta be happy in game number 1. Cloud coming up as well, another dragon to add to the mix, but RNG with its Baron buff. And 2 minutes remaining should be able to push down the outers.
Very oppressive. And more importantly than the fact that they can push out these outers, you know what I want to see, Hysterics? You know what I'm most hyped about? I'm hyped for the next 20 seconds. What does Let Me use his banner of command on? Pretty soon it's going to be top lane.
Well, I hope, we get to play... Is it 20 seconds?
Oh no, he just used it. There we go.
We had to just... Man, it's got a low cooldown, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, you promote this minion, you give it your Baron buff as well. Mate, what can stop it?
I think he put it in the top lane, so meanwhile while RNG...
Oh, no, it's right here.
Oh, is it? No, actually it is. Well, the Forge God doesn't get anyone. The Banner of Command minion continues to push with the rest of RNG. Another turret bites the dust. 10,000 gold. Let Me in the side lane. Maybe not. Does someone else have a...
Oh,
There's 2
no,
Banner of
me!
Commands. RNG. Now a big moment arises as RNG Gaming trying to fight back. The Galio ultimate. Heroic Entrance hits no one, and Transcorruption does. Easy Hoon stops the distract,
stop!
and he's going to be destroyed here, but the rest of RNG Gaming are going in. The turnaround here as well. Ming spits out 1, but more than he can chew as RNG Gaming start to clean house. It's Martin on the backside who is getting these Rens off. It is a big, big trade, but RNG, at the end of the day, Cassiopeia still lives, and there is nothing Martin can do with 4 dead and 3 alive on the side of RNG.
What a hero play! Xiaohu moves forward to actually stop Easy Hoon from diving out of the situation. As soon as Galio's in, he pretty much condemned his own fate. I think this is all formalities now. Let's watch this swag minion slowly win the game.
Well, there's one on the top side as well, and as I was pointing out, Breaches, there's actually 2 Banner of Command.
Yeah, Ming's got the other one.
So the minions are going to push in, and they're not going to go for the win as the death timers are coming up. So a little bit too risky for RNG. Baron wears off, and it's done more than enough for them. 12,000 gold and a fight as good as this.
This is it. RNG pulled the trigger, but as soon as Easy Hoon comes out, you got to watch this forward step. Xiaohu moves forward and actually stops Easy Hoon from going away. Immediately the mid lane's dead, a huge damage source is dead, and there's just no way that Vici could have won that. Another important factor was that Martin actually stepped inside the Cassiopeia miasma, so there was no way that he could actually dash, and that was just a lost fight before they even initiated.
I mean, Martin's still holding at least some regard because he managed to even that out. If Martin didn't get those kills, that would have been game, Preacher.
No, you're right, but it is a poor man's build coming out of it. Take a look. Play the Ruin King, Runette, and also Lord Dominic's Regard. That's all that he's got for himself. I mean, this guy is pretty much begging that he gets onto any sort of high-value target, but like we said before, Uzi is heavily protected by everyone on his team, and their abilities.
And now barreling down the mid lane, the only inhibitor left standing. This tier 2 stands no chance. And when you speak of standing now, that turret is gone.
It's double
Demolish.
No, it's double banded minions as well.
Oh, true. They're actually coming down mid lane. Ultimate used immediately. Let Me is taking turret aggro for now. Flashes out of the way. Turret will still find its makeup. And it's RNG, Call the Forge God now, looking to re-engage and into the mouth of Ming. And the heroic entrance actually will find a big knock-up on the 3 back members there. Xiaohu finds an ultimate and lives for now. Swift cannot jump to him. Xiaohu lives. And the rest of VG Gaming are being dissipated at the seam. There are 2 members left alive. Xiaohu is still standing, and now the 1v1 with Camille dominating over Swift will be the game 1 going to RNG.
Oh my, Swift, he tried to keep his eyes on the Xiaohu, ignored his entire rest of the team, and they fall as the Nexus falls.
RNG taking game number 1 in convincing fashion by the end. And VG Gaming looking like they may add more to those losses at this stage, but only game number 1. Still, you got to look at RNG and you got to say that the early game there maybe wasn't as clean, always trading off, and VG Gaming seemed to hold on at some point.
You're correct. It did look like RNG was a little out of place, but at least they had a plan, and that's my biggest criticism of VG. Next game, can they come in with a move?
Well, we'll have to find out. We're going to go to a short break, aka throwing back to the boys at the desk. When we return, game 2 between VG Gaming and RNG.